Oh yeah, the way it works is you just go to game 3. So game 3, this is interesting. I didn't see any fear of missing outs that game, so you can see the sideboard changes. Well, I do since I side out my nulls for Pierce because I'm on the play, so I can Pierce discard spells, and I didn't see the fear of missing outs that I claim everybody has a million of. I think this is pretty reasonable. I think this makes sense. I mean, Spell Pierce seems pretty reasonable on the play to me against their deck,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I think I usually have it in both play and draw. I don't mind it at all in the matchup.
yeah, and you could have made an argument that like Fiery Impulse is worse on the play. I was again kind of scared of fear of missing out because I felt like a lot of their plans were based around that and whatever. But maybe I didn't need Fiery Impulse.
You basically never die to like the stuff like Blood Tithe. Like Blood Tithe is infinitely more scary to me on the draw than on the play. I feel like I'm never gonna die to it really on the play.
Well, it's more that specifically with a card like Fear of Missing Out is that I don't have a lot of cards that deal 3 damage to creatures, so it can be hard to remove. It was basically that. Because like if they have it in play, and I have no Fiery Impulse in my deck, my only way to remove it is Lightning Axe. That's basically what I'm saying.
I guess I'm usually better at racing than you are because I have Profs in my deck.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a great 7. Oh, this is actually a tense game. This gets kind of a tense game. So it's pretty obvious that you just play Island Pass.
This is one of the nice things about Phoenix. Is that you just look at a hand that's like 3 lands and like 4 cantrips, and it's like, wow, this is like a perfect hand, right? Even though the hand, I don't know, like it doesn't do anything. It's just like a very stock hand, and you have these hands so often, but you have them, and it just feels like difficult to lose.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the reason this hand is perfect is because it's very good at finding and casting Treasure Cruise for 1 mana. So you're like, wow, I'm going to cast Treasure Cruise for 1 mana. And it's going to be pretty hard for my opponent to interact with it. That's perfect. So anyway, they go turn 1.
I think there's a good argument for sleight of handing there. No.
Well, actually, I thought I definitely would not because of a discard spell. If I sleight of hand, then their discard spell's better. I thought that's pretty obvious.
I just feel like the ability to play at instant speed better is pretty significant with this picklock in our hand.
Well, what do you mean? We just play turn 2 picklock. Like, if you cast Sleight of Hand on turn 1, they have 7 discard. They have 4 Thoughtseize, 3 Duress. If you cast Sleight of Hand on turn 1, you're literally just making their discard better. Like, why would you ever do that?
What are they going to take that's significant there? Like,
it's very significant. They could take Artist Talent. They could take a like. I think it's very significant for sure. I think it's not like I don't value playing this at instant speed almost at all. Like I can the turn I play Picklock, I'll just play Picklock, and I have 2 ops. I can just play
Artist Talent, though?
What?
Is there any other card besides Artist Talent?
I think it's a tie. I mean, I think it's very clear. I mean, again, before you go into all these minor things, I have basically 3 ops in my hand. Pretend this is. I have 2 ops and a sleight of hand. They have 7 discard. If I cast sleight of hand, I'm literally just making their discard better. Literally, just 100% making it better. It's just.
Yes, look.
And I don't value playing at instant speed. I don't think that's an issue at all because I can when I play Picklock, I'm just gonna Picklock. And
I mean, you can't tell me.
And I have 2 ops. I have 2 ops. It's not like I have 2 sleight of hands. If my head.
No, look. It's obviously we're fine with this hand, but we can draw stuff that will make ability to play at instant speed more relevant or more significant.
Yeah, but you're literally making it's face up before anything abstract. You're literally face up making their discard better, and you literally just said, "Oh, it's only Artist Talent." Is there anything else? Yeah, I think there's other things that it would matter. I think, for example, there's a bunch of things that matter. For example, they're playing Duress. They can't Duress or Picklock. So, for example, we could have hit a Treasure Cruise, and like if we kept the Treasure Cruise, now they can Duress or Cruise. Okay, so it's Cruise. Also, I do think it matters a lot with talent, because if we do hit talent, it matters a lot. Also, it's Prismari. Let's say they have Hearse in hand, and let's say I hit a Prismari, they could Prismari it. Or maybe I hit Lightning Axe and they have Shieldred. Like, I just think it's like, basically, our hand is slow, because we have all these cantrips. The thing that's part of what's good about the cantrips is it gives us hand selection, but if we're literally just slamming our cantrips into their disc, like, I just did not value this highly at all.
Here is basically that I don't care about what they take, because my entire hand is replaceable.
Yeah, I just think that doesn't matter. I think that's completely untrue. I think if you hit, I think there's a bunch of spells you could hit, and it would matter. I think if you hit Lightning Axe and they have Shieldred, then they might take that. Because Duress misses Picklock, that's relevant. Because I think that basically, well, okay, I found a better way to say it. If the hand is 3 ops, if they cast a discard spell and hit our opt, we don't care because we have more ops. But if we opt and we hit a good spell, then they can just take the good spell we hit, and then our hand's 2 ops and they hit a good spell. So I think it does matter a lot what they hit. So yeah, and because it's using the mana, it's like about using the like we're dedicating our mana to a cantrip. So I opt. This was interesting. I see Damage, and I was like, I'm not sure if it's actually good, but because of the way I kind of. But I'm like, well, yeah, I was like, oh, well, I put in the sideboard for this matchup, so it should be good. But I thought it was like reasonable to keep because I'm gonna go pick lock. So I'm like pretty likely to turn 4 be able to play this for cheap, and like I can discard it to like Lightning Axe and Prismari. And I really didn't want to draw spell lands. And yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. It was kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like an Arclight. It's not, but like better. It's like an Arclight that's better to cast from hand, basically. I thought it was kind of close, but I kept it because yeah. I don't know if I guess we can just move on. And yeah, I draw a land, so I just play Sparbluff Pass, pretty obvious. La la la. They play Urborg, they pass. So I'm feeling great. You know, they did play a 2-drop. This is great, but the game's not over yet. So pick lock, and yeah, I see sleight of hand, op fire impulse, and I just slam. I'm pretty sure I just slammed the sleight of hand.
Wait, is that a second pick lock though?
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, wait, no, I milled the treasure cruise. Okay, I just take the treasure cruise. Never mind. I see a treasure cruise, and I take the treasure cruise. Pretty clear.
Yeah.
And here I just opt because I can't to make my cruise cheaper. I hit artist talent. So I guess this is interesting. I could technically play the talent, but then my cruise, if they have like
So the punish is just like go blank, right? That's the punish.
what Ashiok's a punish, or also if they top deck to discard, which they have 6 discard, so they're like I don't know what the percent is, but
wait. I don't think top deck discard is that relevant because I think they probably still have to play a 3-drop. Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna spend their entire turn 3 casting 1 discard spell.
True.
I don't think
you could say that they're not going to cast a discard spell, which is reasonable. I mean, there's things so you could say, well, they don't have a 2-drop because they didn't play a 2-mana spell, but maybe there's a world where they had Hearse and they held it, but no, it's unlikely. So yeah, they probably don't have a 2-drop, so they're probably unlikely to play discard. So maybe that was a reason. I might have messed up in that regard because.
So I think it's just go blank and Ashiok, as you say. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I should have just slammed the talent here.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember. I just got scared. I was because I was thinking. So I drew the cruise, or I drew the talent, and I'm like, wait a second. So I was like, okay, I can play the cruise, so I guarantee it resolves. Or I could play the talent because then it's more mana efficient, or it's more mana efficient. But I think, and I think I made a mistake because I was like, oh, they could draw a discard, but like you said, I didn't take into account that like if they had a discard spell, they're probably not gonna cast it. Well, actually, they know I have Treasure Cruise in hand, right? Because I pick locked it.
That's true. They might have to discard because of that.
So like, yeah, that might make them cast a discard spell if they draw it. And although my Treasure Cruise is 1 mana here, so let me see. Is it 1 mana? No, that's Exile. Exile's
no, it's
pick lock.
Mana.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I was just thought, oh, like, because also the thing was, if I don't, like, if they draw the situation where if they draw a discard and discard it, my hand's talent, I was like, maybe things will go badly for me, but maybe that's not true, because then I just cast Temilich and I have talent in play and I get, like, 2 draw steps.
Okay, let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
How do you feel about playing pick lock and passing with the opt-up?
The fuck? 1 second, let's go back for a second. What you mean, like here?
Yeah, we have a pick lock in Exile, right?
I mean, I think that's a horrible play because for a few reasons. Well,
like,
what if they play it? Isn't that just
to enable that? Is the main thing for me.
Sorry, what?
Removal is in their range, and it sucks to give them a way to spend their mana. Is the main consideration. But if they were tapped out here, then I feel like I would probably pick lock.
Well, the thing is, what do you call? The thing is that they're probably about to play either Fable or Annex. So if I opt, I can give myself the chance to opt into an annul.
That's true.
And like, what do I accomplish by having a 1/3 in play? Like, it's technically nice.
No. You're not doing that because once you opt, you're like basically committed to playing the Treasure Cruise. So that's not a factor.
No, no, but it is true. I could, if I play Picklock, I never have the ability to hit a null. For example, I could opt and I could see like how many cards are in my graveyard right now? Like 5, 6.
Yeah. So are you telling me that if you draw a null here, you would pass instead of Treasure Cruising?
Well, if I'm playing Picklock, I don't even have. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, it's kind of no face up that they're probably going to play Fable or Annex next turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then I mean it goes back to like the thing we were saying where they'll
Yeah,
probably cast the discard because they know about the cruise.
yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that like if they passing was playing picklock with opt up is also bad against discard too, because then they just discard the cruise and I'm not even so
The
playing pick.
downside of cruising this turn is that it's mana inefficient because we could potentially cruise for 1 mana instead of 2.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's that big of a deal. Well, it's also kind of mana efficient to play picklock because what do I accomplish by putting a picklock in play?
I mean, it deals like 3 damage to them and maybe saves us like 2 or 4 life or something. Like that's what I expected to do.
Yeah, I just thought it's not accomplishing
I mean, sounds
very
like on a
much.
macro level you kind of care less about life than I do in this matchup.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to fight over powerful things, and picklock I'm going to spend mana to not be able to fight over powerful threats, and then it'll be more easy to lose control. Like for example, I literally said a null. Like
I
even
guess you
forget the
also have
cruise.
Prof
Like
in your
I
deck,
could
which is
literally I
fine,
could
but
literally opt into a null. Sorry, what?
if you have no Prof in your deck, I'm on board. It doesn't make sense to play it. I would play
Yeah,
it because I have Prof in my deck, but
yeah.
without
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Like it's pretty clear because you're making these other arguments. You're saying, oh, but would you even pass with a null because you could cruise? Well, then it's saying, well, then it's saying then there's other things going on. But what I'm saying is even forget the cruise. If we opt like why would we pass with opt? We could literally opt main phase and we're like pretty sure they're probably going to play 3-drop enchantment. Why in the world would you cast a picklock when they're about to slam a 3-drop enchantment and you could have an null in hand? And obviously you can come and say other arguments, but then there's other anyway. So I cast opt. I don't know what I see. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. And I remember here like I was like, maybe it was a better play to play artist talents. I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I mean, they did know about the cruise, and also I did think part of what I was thinking in the back of my head was their start was pretty bad. They didn't play a 2-drop, so I'm like, I just want to resolve my cruise on the play so that like it minimizes the worst case scenario for me. That's part of what, which might have been wrong because maybe I was
Yeah, I
overrating how
mean,
ahead I was.
yeah, even so, okay. The punish for not playing cruise is that your cruise gets discarded. But then if they spend their entire turn discarding, and we know that that would be what happens because they have nothing else, then turn 4, even if we draw nothing, we just play a Demi-Lich, and then we've gotten like 2 looks at a spell to start our Artist Talent chain 2 turns from now. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the mistake was I assumed I was more ahead than I was because I was like, they didn't play a 2-drop and I'm on the play. So I'm like, oh wow, I'm really ahead. So I want to avoid a situation where they like
it's definitely
can.
possible for the crews to like not connect with the board, right? And as soon as they like untap and play a Fable, they kind of generate a lot of
Yeah, or like
oh, I
if I slam Cruise and then they slam Annex, I'm actually under a lot of pressure. Like, yeah, I think I overrated how ahead I was, and like I should have just played Artist Talent because it would have been like a better Goldfish play, and I was overrating how ahead I was because I didn't realize I was like I got paranoid and I was thinking about Cruise, but I didn't, and I was just thinking I was ahead, but I didn't realize like okay if I play Cruise and then they play Annex, I'm actually not as ahead as I think because now they have Annex in play and the game's gonna go for a while, so their Annex is like a Cruise too basically. So I
yeah.
cruise, I hit these cards. So yeah, I think that was a mistake. So you can see more mistakes coming left and right. They play Annex, they pass to me, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure so this was kind of an interesting turn, but I'm pretty sure I just go play Artist Talent, play Picklock, pass, because like, uh, so they play Annex. Like I could cast Demi-Lich, but I saw those Torch to Towers, and like if they go like Blood Ties Harvester, Torch to Tower it, I guess they didn't have the demon for a while, so maybe
Also, I mean, they could just have like go for the throat. Like, I still think just removal is
yeah.
very much range. So
So
yeah, I
I
don't really want to
I
cast
just play
Demi-Lich. I mean, we can also cast Demi-Lich, like again the mana efficiency thing. We could cast Demi-Lich for like 2 mana later or something maybe. So yeah,
yeah.
I agree with your play.
Yeah, and I like you could say there's a universe where like casting
You
Prismari, like I just can't Prismari yet, and also like if I play Artist Talent, the next turn I can Prismari get back like I can do it all next turn, like I can get back Phoenix and Demi-Lich, and I'm like yeah if I
yeah.
cast oh wow what I cast Demi-Lich okay never mind hold on hold on well okay
Nice.
so yeah that might have been a yeah actually I remember okay so okay so if I play Artist Talent and Picklock okay then if I have a discard spell they could discard my Prismari and my situation's like kind of awkward
No, it's not.
and
Then you play the Demi-Lich, and
yeah but then they gotta untap with the Annex and it's getting mana inefficient well no I
yeah,
would
but
probably do it
you
because I
just
think I
want to
probably have
pressure
to take the
them, right?
risk
Like you're taking
what
damage, you just want to start pressuring them under the Annex.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason I cast Demi-Lich was because it was like better against the discard spell, basically, but it might have been worse overall.
That seems
Because
no. 'Cause then they just discard your talent. I mean, talent in play. Yeah. I mean,
well, the
I
thing
don't
is,
know.
I guess it's high variance if I draw. Yeah. Well, it becomes if I draw like a 1 mana spell, then playing talent's good against discard. So that's true. So maybe I just needed to get the talent in play because I have so much crap to loot away. Um,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I felt like looking back, I probably should have just played Talent plus Picklock because the downside of playing Demi-Lich is if they have a Torture Tower, which they showed 3 of, they could literally just Torture Tower it for 1 mana. They could even sack the Annex, or they could.
Yeah.
So because of that, and also because the other problem with playing Demi-Lich is it means I can't return Phoenix next turn because next turn if I go Artist Talent plus Prismari,
Yeah.
then I'm not.
I just wanna pressure them with this talent. So like, um, Fable sets them up like better long term. Like, how do I say this? Yeah, just basically my feeling is when they have Annex in play, I really want to try to pressure them as much as possible,
Yeah.
basically. And I
Well,
think
yeah,
talents is better to do that.
I think the reason Talent's better is because I can play Demi-Lich next, like, if I play
Yeah,
Talent, I can set up a situation where I play Phoenix and Demi-Lich for 0 mana next turn, but instead I'm spending literally 4 mana to cast this. So
yeah,
when I could literally just if I play Artist Talent, I can return Phoenix. But obviously, yeah. So I remember, yeah, here I was panicking because I was like, oh man, it's panic, it's panic. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure, yeah, they go Torch, and here I was thinking, maybe Demi-Lich wasn't a great sideboard plan. So
mm-hmm.
So they play tap, and at least I was free to sigh of relief that they play Black Leaf at least. So they draw another card, and yeah, I draw another talent. And actually, here I'm pretty sure that my plan was just to play talent and pass, and be comfortable taking 3 from the Harvester because that way I would have the out to kill a hearse, which could be wrong. Like I could main phase it, I guess,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't want to. I wanted to get a talent down, I guess, before. Yeah, that was basically my
I mean,
plan.
I don't know. I'm not. Hmm.
Because I have to not only it's not because even if I get Phoenix back, it's not even that good. I think arguably, but like I just value getting the talent down. So like I think the problem about if I get Phoenix back is it means I'm not playing talent. I think getting talent down is so valuable here, basically.
Oh no. Okay, so I'm definitely I'm 100% on board with playing talent this turn.
Yeah,
My question is, should we avoid taking 3 damage? Like, I'm not actually sure I'm
yeah.
so afraid of Hearse compared to, oh, well, they just flip this Annex, and then I'm what? I'm at 17 and I take 2 immediately going to
Yeah.
15. Like, the 3 damage could be pretty relevant.
Well, the reason why was because I was at 20 life here, so I felt like I had the ability to play around to hearse. Like I didn't feel like I was so behind that I can't. I have to play into hearse because it's like way better to be able to hearse a Prismari, whatever. And a lot of people play like around 2 to 3 hearse. It's like the most popular graveyard hate. So I was comfortable taking 3 in my opinion for that reason. Oh, also they could also have like Blade of the Oni too.
Last turn, if they had it, though.
Well, not really because they went Harvester plus Torture Tower. Why would they play hearse?
Oh, they didn't want to sack Annex? Okay, sure.
Yeah. So they play Shieldred, and they go respond. Also, it gives me like more information, I guess. So I go kill that, and loot. So I loot away Steam Vents. Then I discard 2 Phoenixes, and their Shieldred resolves, and they gain life, and I untap, and I draw Opt, and I think it makes sense to Opt here. I have 3 Axes in my
Yeah,
deck, and I have a bunch of
yeah,
life, so I can. So I Axe. And I'm pretty sure I loot. Let me see. Do I loot? Yeah, I loot away the talent
yeah.
to pay 2 life. I think that makes a lot of
You
sense.
don't loot the Phoenix? Why?
Uh, because I'm pretty sure I think I drew it
Oh, you
off.
drew the Phoenix?
Yeah. So
Okay.
So then I draw axe. So I'm like, okay, now things are pretty good. If they don't have extinction event, things are going pretty well again. So I axed the Shieldred, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
I think I
I
looted
don't
to
know
pay
if
2 life, which could have
here.
been a mistake. What?
That's kind of close. Whether you loot here, yeah.
Yeah. So I have the option to loot or not because if I loot, then I have to lose 2 more life. I'm at what life was I at before? I'm at
I don't
13.
think I would. I think it's probably a mistake to loot. They have Mutavault in play here, so they have like a guaranteed way to trigger the Annex. They could also just like play another shield raid. I think the 2 life is pretty relevant, and like we're just gonna loot a bunch more here. Like what are you really looting into that's that significant? So yeah, I don't think I would take 2 damage here.
Well, It is an upside because I do have bad cards in my hand. Like the Shivan Reef is horrible, and the Demi-Lich is basically a Phoenix, so they can cast it for free from the graveyard. So I really want to loot this card. I have 2 cards I really want to loot away.
But you're gonna cast this Prismari command to make
Yeah,
treasure and loot, so like you'll get rid of those cards anyway.
yeah. So I could have seen it being a mistake to loot. I remember I was just thinking like I was kind of like paranoid about the worst case scenario happening, where like I just draw really badly. So I was like, so it could have been, yeah. I can see that it being good to not loot there basically. I was kind of I was getting kind of, you know what I mean. It was like a high. I was basically kind of like, I felt like I was in a really good position because I had 3 Arclight Phoenix and Demi-Lich I was about to get back, and I was Lightning Axing their Shieldred. So I was like, I wanted to reduce the worst case scenarios.
What I think can easily happen here is like, okay, one of these Phoenixes is gonna get Fatal Pushed or Torched. They're gonna like make some demon, and then we're under pressure from this annex, and the board has stabilized, and like, okay, well, how are we getting out of this now? And like, I don't necessarily feel like we're that ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it, like, if they just play a second Shieldred, then all of a sudden my life matters a ton again. But also, to be fair, if they do play second Shieldred, I kind of need to loot more towards relevant cards anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's.
I think it's close. I mean, the question is, do you pay 2 life for a loot? And here, I thought I was like, 13 life is a lot of life. I have 2 really bad cards, or did I have 3? Yeah, I'm like, I have 2 really bad cards, so I'll pay 2 life to loot. I could see it being correct not to pay 2 life to loot. I think that's not unreasonable.
Like, yeah, I mean, the value of the loot with talent in play seems not so high, basically.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to not loot. I mean, I was also partly thinking that like it would be better for me to like not cast Prismari Command. Like it might be better for me to just cast a Picklock or something. So looting gives me the outs to do that.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think it was close. So actually, yeah. So I have Prismari and I could cast Prismari, but I end up considering. Let me see. Is there? Oh, there's actually a good reason for that. Is because if I cast Prismari, then I can't return the Demi-Lich for free. Whereas if I play Consider, I can pay mana to do it. So I think it was pretty obvious.
Yep.
To me, like it was pretty fun. Well, I guess I can make the treasure. I guess that's the idea.
You still could have cast it for free just by
from the treasure. Yeah.
Treasure, right?
Yeah. So maybe I should have So let me see. So I guess here's what would happen. So I loot this away. So yeah, maybe I should have Prismari'd because it was mana efficient to do so. I guess I was all yeah. So maybe I should have just Prismari'd here. That was probably a better play. I think I was kind of freaking out at this point. I don't know what was going on. So yeah, maybe I Prismari. So I Prismari, I loot the Shivan Reef. Then my hand is an unknown card, and then I draw 2 more. I think I thought there was maybe a world where I like loot away the Prismari command because I'm like getting so low on cards, but it helps me dig a lot to Treasure Cruise.
Upside in holding the Prismari command as an answer to their Mutavault because of the annex.
Yeah. I just was like, Prismari is more mana efficient, but I didn't know how much it accomplished necessarily to just like use it as a rummage here. But maybe it was worth it. Anyway, so I consider, I draw lands, get back Phoenixes, the Torch one, I cast Demi-Lich, and actually, yeah, this was interesting. Oh, look away, I probably punted again. Oh, well, here I have an interesting choice because I have Picklock in Exile. So I can shock myself and play Picklock, or I could play Odawara and play Picklock. But obviously Odawara seems pretty valuable. Like, I'm not going to play Odawara, obviously. So I have the option to play, well, I don't need to play a land, or I can play a land, shock myself, play Picklock, or I can play tap land. And I'm at 9 life at this point. Did I shock?
How much life are they at?
They're at 10 here.
Well, wait, doesn't then the Picklock just makes it lethal if you hit another Phoenix, right? Doesn't that seem pretty important?
Well, yeah, I have Prismari for 2 damage, right? So if I play Picklock, let's say they go to 12 life, 3, 6, 4. I don't know. I just was like groping, so I could play Picklock, but maybe it wasn't worth it. Cause see how low my life gets. I didn't have time to do the math. Basically, that's why I cast Picklock. Maybe I should have played it tapped. And also, I thought one of their good outs would be, so they play a Shieldred, but I'm pretty sure, so they activate Mutavault, so I go to 3 life, and they gain 4 life, or I go to 5. What happened? Oh, no, I go to, oh yeah, it's because my upkeep, I guess I could have considered Odawaring the Shieldred, but actually, okay, yeah, so I could.
I think I would do that. I think my plan would be to attack and Demi-Lich flash back.
Lightning Axe, yeah. I mean, one thing that's interesting, and I didn't think about in the game, is that they could bargain the Torch to Tower on my Demi-Lich at start
Yeah,
of combat, which
and you
would,
take more damage.
and then I would. Let me see. Do I have? No, I don't have lethal.
You're
Three,
no.
5. Yeah. So if they have Torch the Tower, that would be that would be like a reason to consider doing this.
I mean,
Um,
I think it's kind of good to assume that, like, if they have nothing here, then you're still in a good spot, right? So, like, maybe we should kind of be assuming that they have
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
here.
I guess I'm not ahead enough because you're like, if they Fatal Push my Demi-Lich, it's kind of bad for me because then
Well,
I
they
deal
can't, right?
7.
Or they don't have revolt,
Well, I mean, if I
right?
Odawara, that's what I mean. That would be a
I
reason not
see.
to Odawara. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Um, like,
Yeah.
yeah, the reason not to Odawara the Shieldred is if they have Fatal Push, then I'm letting them. Then they Fatal Push it, and then they take 7, but they're at 14 life, and then they just gain the life back. So I want to maximize my chance to Lightning Axe it. So I draw Lightning Axe for turn, and I think I might miss lethal here, but it was hard to do all the math or whatever. Um, because I could. One second, let me try and. So wait, one second. Well, I guess no. It's if they have removal, I don't. It's like if I assume they don't have removal, then I could have lethal, but it's pretty aggressive. I mean, well, no. So what I could do, yeah.
Wait,
Uh,
you have to hit the Phoenix for lethal, right? It's not lethal otherwise. They go to 1.
well, 3. Well, I can flashback a Prismari, which is 4. So, like for
Oh, flash
example,
it back.
because
Oh,
I drew an
okay.
axe
No,
for
there's no
turn.
way you can do that. That's so risky, right? There's no way you can go for that.
Well, I mean, you would consider it for a sec because like I can attack, and then I can target Prismari, and then I can deal like damage, make a treasure, and then I can lightning axe that. Uh, but uh, then I would die to a second Shieldred, right? Yeah, then I die to a second Shieldred. So yeah, it's risky because if they have removal, 3, 6, 4, 10, 11. Yeah, so it's not a good play. But so yeah,
Or
so
just another annex, right? Like even
yeah,
annex, second annex,
yeah,
you also get wrecked by. So like I think it might be important to be holding this Prismari command to kill the Mutavault. Um,
yeah. I think. Well, it's kind of interesting because I kind of don't want to discard any of the cards in my hand to a degree. Well, like obviously I want to keep Otawara,
I mean,
and
wait, why do we want to keep Adawara? I think
because if they play as because well how
so. Okay, my
how do the
take
only way
is
I lose is
to
if they have a second Shieldred. Like what if they play second Shieldred plus Mutavault? Then I need to bounce their Shieldred to not die. Like the only way I die is if they. Oh, are you saying you want to keep axe? Well, so it depends what you want to do. Like, so if I attack with Demi-Lich, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you want to axe from the graveyard and discard? Like, what are you planning to discard to the axe?
discard axe, right? Yeah.
Okay, so if you discard axe, well, so then you're keeping the Odawara basically. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. But I was saying, so in the situation where we get the Demi-Lich trigger, I mean, I think we're pretty set. In the situation where the Demi-Lich dies, I still want to axe the Shieldred, and then I'm discarding the Otawara. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying.
Well, what I realized when I saw this line is I think what we could have done is we could have because I got confused when I drew the lightning axe. So the ropes was coming up, but what I could have done is I could have attacked, and I don't know if I can maintain. And then with the trigger on the stack, I can lightning axe from my hand, lightning axe, discard Prismari to lightning axe.
You have to target a card, right? What's the wording? Let me try to find it.
No, but it doesn't matter because at the point it's attacking, then I know that it's attacking. So it doesn't matter what I have to target. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Don't you have to target a thing immediately
Yeah,
to be
but that means I get the attack trigger. So like I can. You see what I'm saying? I get the so I can what I can do. I'm saying is I could. There's a world I could go to combat, lightning axe,
yeah.
discard Prismari, and then flashback consider afterwards. That's what I'm saying. And then I still have 4 mana up for Otawara. So because like let's say a lightning axe from hand or lightning axe from graveyard. So I can lightning axe from graveyard, discard lightning axe, and I have Prismari Otawara up. I guess what's the is that what you want to do? You want a
Oh,
lightning
okay.
axe?
You can bounce annex if necessary too. Sure.
Well, I'm saying,
Okay.
but basically what I'm saying is like how valuable is holding this Prismari command? That's a question to ask. Maybe it's valuable in the world where they have push, so I can.
Yeah, because actually, like stopping them from gaining life is very relevant because if they kill a thing here, and we deal them 7 damage, then like if they gain 2, that's massive.
1 second, I'm doing some math. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, so it's kind of, I remember I just didn't have ropes, so I didn't really have time to think. Because I was thinking, I didn't really have time to, like, think what Lightning Axe was optimal, or, like, if I want to hold Prismari. But, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a world where, because if you Lightning Axe from the graveyard, like, there's a world where you could Lightning Axe, discard Prismari, and then use the Demi-Lich to cast Consider. Or there's a world where you could, but I guess, yeah, you're saying you want to go Lightning Axe, discard Lightning Axe, pass with Prismari Otawara?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fine. That's what I did, basically. Or I wasn't 100% sure if it was the best line. That's what I did, basically. So I hit that. They take all the damage. Oh, yeah, and that's when I'm like, oh, did I miss lethal? I don't know. And then, yeah, the game's basically, so they play a second Annex. They activate Mutavault. And, yeah, I wasn't exactly sure how the rules worked. Like, I wasn't sure if they put the trigger on the stack and then I kill it if it resolves or not. But I didn't want to kill it right away because if they could play a second Mutavault, right? So, I'm kind of I'm waiting for I'm waiting for like the end of turn so that I kill it. Then they play a land. They have 1 mana. I'm making sure this isn't a demon. And then I'm like, I can just Prismari this now because I wasn't sure how the rules worked. Where
I think you have to kill it before the triggers go on the stack.
you think so?
That's what I thought.
Well, because it says if you control a demon, so it goes on the stack, but then I kill it and they don't control a demon.
Snapshotting? Okay, fair enough.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but I wasn't 100% sure. But when they play the land, here I was like freaking out. I was like trying to click the right modes on Prismari. I was like, and I was like making sure that they don't have like a 1 mana, that there was any reason for anything, because I could obviously Otawara it. And yeah, I kill it, and then I won. So that's how it went. Yeah, I guess so that was the match pretty much. And that was tense because also I had a loss to give, but I'm not one of those guys who's fucking around trying to lose a match and then I lose the next match and then I'm 5-2 like the next guy on the street. So I was really trying to win. I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh yeah, I have a loss to give. That's how the downfall starts. You know what I mean? So I was really trying to win it. Obviously, game 2, kind of some sus shit going on, but got there.
Game 3 too. I mean, but they were all, there were a lot of decisions to be made.
I mean, was game 3? Was the Demi-Lich play?
Yeah, the Demi-Lich.
Sure. I mean, at least there was logic. Anyway, so I mean, it wasn't that horrible. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that was the match. The winning in against Demons. Play history. So yeah. So I don't know if there's any closing thoughts we should say. I mean, maybe the format's dead. I guess. So I don't even know what's up with that.
I mean, my biggest takeaway from all of this, like, I don't know, like, I think I would have played the games pretty differently from you, and maybe I'm way off. I guess, to me, it just feels like the important thing is having, like, a cohesive plan of what you're playing towards, and as long as you have a cohesive plan, it's kind of all fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can, rationally go through the pros and cons of different plays. For example, when you're making claims, like, one of the big claims was, like, you were like, I was saying I really don't want to put Phoenix in my graveyard because it exposes it to graveyard hate, and you're saying that's not something you consider a lot, and I think you can, and then you're saying, oh, I don't value having Phoenix in play. And I was saying, I think Phoenix in play is very good against demons because it literally blocks almost all their creatures, and you're saying, oh, it doesn't kill their big ones. I'm like, well, you have to deal with their big ones anyway, and as you saw in those games, like having Phoenix in play, you can see in those games mattered, or whatever. And anyway, yeah, I guess game 2 was kind of close because I guess, yeah, I felt like they there was a turn where they were hellbent and they drew Torch the Tower, and then the next turn they drew Shieldred. So like if they bricked for a turn, obviously they could have had an early Annex. Anyway, so I guess that's most of the takeaway. Yeah, I guess we can basically end it here, but I don't know if you have anything more to add.
No, nothing else.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would say is that when you have a difference of plays you make, you can be like, these are the advantages of my play, these are the disadvantages. It's not like it's not mumbo jumbo hocus pocus. Like you can understand it. So
there's a lot to go through. I mean, just like even that first thing about the land, like I'm still not totally confident what's right there. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and think about it more.
Well, yeah, I said there's complicated things, but I started with the top down. And I was like, and again, it was like hedging. A lot of it's like how ahead or behind am I? Because you saw a lot of the plays I made was because like I thought I was ahead, so I made a conservative play. But then in reality, it doesn't look like I was actually that ahead. That was a lot. You know what I mean? Like not playing the land on turn 1 was being a conservative play. So anyway, I guess I'll stop the recording now.